Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Wanted to stop in briefly as always and just give an update on the fabric of boxing. So you ask yourself, what's the fabric? What WCS talking about? Every fight is cut from a different cloth, even though they participate in the same sport. Right? That's any combat sport, from a different cloth. You have the ones that are considered great, ones that's considered stars. You know what I'm saying? Those who are considered good to average, and the ones who are always titled as being mediocre, bum status, to those who call them that, and lower tier, right? But I heard Usyk, say something that, once again, it just goes to show you that as a human being competing in a physical full contact sport, everybody's mentality ain't the same, man. Psychologically, the metric doesn't run as high to every fighter, the fighter. Usyk had mentioned that he might drop back down to cruiserweight. And I said to myself, that's going against all the complaints and the criticism that all these squatters be talking about. These social media squatters to be sitting in front of their PC talking about what a fighter shouldn't do and can't do. If Usyk is coming out his mouth pretty much after being a 2-division undisputed, and he's saying he might drop back down to cruiserweight just to open up the belts, drop back down to cruiserweight to potentially unify again 3 times, right? That's where greatness comes in at. It isn't always the physical asset of greatness when it comes to boxing, but in order for someone to believe that they can do something, their mental blade has to be sharp. You know what I'm saying? Just like Wilder always say, speak it, believe it, receive it. People take it for granted until they actually seeing somebody speaking it, they believe it, right? So if Usyk is thinking about dropping back down from the heavyweight division, it just goes to show you, at the end of the day, it's all about the mental strength and psyche of a fighter that's in the sport. How much are they willing to risk based on how much they have achieved, and how much are they willing to risk to basically continue to build up their legacy? And kudos to Usyk, man. I try to tell people, you can see people from afar all the time, but you really don't have a personal connection with them to speak any further than that, right? You can criticize them, you can goddamn critique them, scrutinize them, all that shit, praise them. You can do all you want from afar. But the first time I met Usyk, man, it kind of showed me what type of fighter he was, what type of man he was. Everyone's personality ain't the same, but Usyk is a good dude, man. Obviously, I think boxing fans, to include myself, may have underestimated how great Usyk is in the sport of boxing. And I think it goes along with, there's a streamline of biasness that's dealing with people accepting certain fighters that say, hey, I want to do this. No, you shouldn't be doing that because you're this. It depends on how a person look and all that. It depends on whether there's prejudice involved or whatever. But, I haven't really heard any outcry of Usyk dropping back down, because the narrative is, once you move up, it's so tough to move back down. And they always want to use Roy Jones, and Roy Jones has used himself. He say, yeah, I dropped back, 25 pounds. I get it. That's a lot. It's depending how long you have to make that weight cut. I get it. But every fighter isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? So you get the points like this, where if a fighter can have several fights at a higher weight and then decide to drop back down, like Rigondeaux, he did it. He dropped back down at one point in time to 118. It's all depending on the person themselves, the fighter themselves, real talk. So only thing I'm trying to say, we shouldn't always group, you know, these warriors together, because everybody's mental strength is different. It's different. Everybody's desires are different. And if Usyk decides to, after this fight with Fury, we don't know what's going to happen, but he's already became 2-time undisputed in 2 different weight divisions. For him to say he might go back down to cruiserweight, that only tells you what type of fabric he's cut from, what type of cloth Usyk is cut from when it comes to this boxing game, when it comes to this, you know, being a warrior, contending as a warrior, yo. But y'all hold it down. I'll be back on a little later, man. I just wanted to drop in and chop it up.